When there was a war in Sudan, it never caused any African country an economical challenge. When there was a war in Burkina Faso, never caused African countries an economical challenge. When there was a war in Ethiopia, in Syria, in Yemen, in Iran, it never caused any African country economical damage. But when there was a war in Ukraine, it caused the all African countries economical challenge. All African leaders says we are facing economical challenge because Europeans refuse to give them money. Americans refuse to give them money. When they go to America or Europe to beg them for money, they told them that, no, we can't give you any money because we have a war. So it caused an economical challenge to African leaders because they like to beg. They don't want to work. When there is a war in an black African country, it doesn't affect any African leader like that out there. But when there is a war, there was a war in Ukraine, it affects all the African leaders, their economy. It affects all of them. What are they telling us? What do Ukraine economy have to do with African economy? Tell me. Ukraine economy, what do that have to do with African economy? When George Floyd was killed, I never forget it, and I will never forget it for the rest of my life, till I die. When George Floyd was killed nonsensely in America, nothing came out of it. Ali, a Nigerian man, was killed in Italy, nothing came out of it. The so-called European Union, the so-called European human rights law, the so-called European immigration law, they are all keeping quiet. But when a black man attempts to fight a white man on the street, they said blacks are criminals. Blacks are always making crimes. When are we going to stand up and fight for ourselves? You know why it's difficult for Africans to fight for themselves? Because when an African man stood up to fight for himself, they call him a criminal, they call him a terrorist. The same way you call Masin Nnamdi Kanu a terrorist, the same way you call Bobby Wine a terrorist, the same way you call Nelson Mandela a terrorist, the same way you call Julius Malema a terrorist, the same way you call Salif Sajo a terrorist, the same way you call Martin Luther King and other peoples a terrorist in Africa because they stand for black people, they fight for black peoples. And at last the same way you call Pandemiga a criminal. I accept. When you call me a criminal, when you call me a terrorist, when you call me such kind of names, I accept. I will never argue with them. And I don't owe them explanation to explain myself that I'm not a terrorist, I'm not a criminal, I'm trying to fight for my right. I don't owe anybody an explanation.